This might be one of my favorite vibe marketing use cases yet. This MCP integration with Claude allows you to visualize and interact with your Google Analytics data. No one likes spending time in Google Analytics, so check this out. I think it's going to make your life a whole lot easier. Enjoy. All right, so been digging deep into MCPs for vibe marketing purposes. And today I have Varu here from our team. She's our amazing automation specialist, growth manager, helps with the community, helps build a bunch of awesome workflows with me. So imagine you're working on a team and your boss is hassling you to understand how much traffic you got last week. And everyone knows that Google Analytics 4 is a pain in the butt to log into and navigate. Let's just figure out how to chat with an AI model to get insights from our Google Analytics so that everyone can save time. And then maybe there's other cool things you can do if that data is living in Claude. Claude can build things, it can format things for you. So maybe you just want to put reporting on autopilot in a sense. So let's have a look at how this is done. I'm going to pass the mic over to Varu, and I think this is going to blow your mind. On to you.
Thanks, James. Thanks, James. Thanks for the intro. And I think that's a pain point for me as well. Like, going to Google Analytics 4 and looking for the data. It's very difficult.
Yeah,
So
I probably bug you with a lot of questions in Slack for numbers and all that. So hopefully this will help save you a bunch of time as well.
I hope so too. Let me just share my screen. You are able to see my screen now?
Yep.
Okay. Before we get into this whole workflow, do you want to give a quick intro of what MCP in general is, and then we can go here? What do you think?
I think just kind of go through it. Like, I think MCP can be a very complicated topic for non-engineers, and I'm not an engineer, and I probably wouldn't do the best job describing it. From my basic understanding, it allows you to interact with, data and things within your, Claude local desktop instance. Is that a basic understanding?
Yeah, I think to me, I've understood it this way. Like you said, it's very hard for non-technical or non-engineer to understand. So basically, anything that you have in your desktop, you want to basically access that, or you have something that is stored in different tool. It can be Slack, Airtable, anything, and there are so many things to access. So how do we basically chat and then access? It's as simple as your virtual assistant by connecting, chatting with multiple tools and getting you what you need to get it done. So I think that's something a simpler definition here.
Yep, sounds great. Let's see how it's done.
Yep. So with MCP server trigger, if you see over here, right? So there's like multiple nodes over here. So this is something that I learned, that when you have MCP server trigger, it's like best to have multiple tools associated, even though this is Google Analytics 4. So this is like same Google Analytics 4, but with different functionalities. For example, this will be looking into the traffic sources. This will be looking into the visitors data. This will be looking into the engagement data. This will be looking into the top performing pages and things like that. So why we use this is because it's a very simple thing. MCP server cannot handle all the commands at one. Like, you have to send a command. Based on the command, MCP actually runs on an AI model. Here we've used Claude. So it picks the data, it runs based on that, and then it basically pushes out the output.
Yep,
So
makes sense.
I'm going to get into this a little bit, how we do this. Um, right now, when we do Google Analytics 4 Connect, there needs to be like multiple things. One is Google Cloud Console. Let me just quickly open, but I think I'll just let them know. I mean, like there's like a video on YouTube that they can see, or use ChatGPT here, where they have to go to Google Cloud Console. And in the Google Cloud Console, they create a project and they have to create an API for OAuth 2,
Yep.
specifically for Google Analytics data.
Okay.
Um, then, basically there's like client detail, client server, client ID, everything they get from there. And they also have to give access to scope, like whether it want to read, edit, delete all the, analytics data.
Okay.
And then this is set.
Okay, so you have a node here where you are connecting to the Google Analytics data, which is being piped into Google Cloud Console. So Google Cloud Console is storing the data in a way
Yeah.
that can interact with, the chat model and things of that nature. The way that you're getting that data into Cloud Console is through this OAuth setup step, where you're probably going to have your, property ID or something like that for the Google Analytics account that you're wanting to do this for, and then you will give it certain access permissions. We don't want it to delete the data or whatever. So I'm assuming that you just use something like read or something at this point. Is that right?
That's perfectly right. We only give read-only access. And in fact, in the Google Cloud Console, you will be able to see that, hey, this is restrictive scope. This is like a very secretive scope. So I would suggest you not to use that. So we can always remove it. And read-only is the best option.
Okay, makes sense. Cool. And I think what we'll do is put like a one pager under the video in the replies too, just so that people can understand exactly the steps to go through to set this up.
Yeah. The only reason we're not showing it is that we have all the secret information over
Yeah,
there.
we don't want to share that. Yep, sounds good.
Awesome. So the next step that we need to do over here is very simple. I basically use ChatGPT here to get this JSON. What we are going to do is, let's say, consider each HTTP request node as a tool. So this is a tool that's going to fetch data, calculate data, or any data around users and user engagement duration. So that's what this is going to do. So
Hmm.
that's the JSON that we are adding over here.
Yep.
Similarly, if you see over here again, this is going to be like the session source, screen page views, engagement rate. So this is a tool that's going to look into all the engagement rate related data. And if you specifically want to get bounce rates and stuff like that, you can also like use this.
Cool. So basically, if you create these sort of custom JSON instructions or whatever, you can, manipulate the data in the sense of coming up with custom calculations and making sure the model knows exactly what to access there from the data set that you're providing it. Is that fair?
Exactly. So basically, we are MCP server trigger command, and this is basically taking us to where exactly the data has to be like fetched from. And there are these tools, which is, let's say, traffic tool, top page, top performing pages tool. So each does a different functionality over here.
Yep. Okay, cool. So what's after this step?
Right. So much before that, when we connect this MCP server trigger, we are supposed to download Cloud for desktop.
Yep.
And there is an option in Cloud for desktop. I'm just going to open that where you have to go to settings and there is something called developer and you have to like configure it in your terminal. So this has to happen within your desktop.
Okay.
So this is completely a different step. And if you want a documentation, I think we can possibly share the link to the documentation that Cloud has shared. So
Yeah.
that step should be really very helpful.
Okay, cool. Yep, we'll share that as a follow-up too. So you have Claude Desktop set up. You have this kind of workflow built out in N8N. So what comes after that?
Yep. So everything is set up. Now the command server is set up. The tools are set up. Now we have to chat with Claude to basically retrieve the data. So the
Okay.
data is being fetched. We are going to retrieve the data.
So this is the
Now,
fun. This is the fun part.
this is the fun part, right? So let me say something like,
So I see your N8N screen right now. Just switch the screen over to Claude.
just a moment.
Yep.
I'm just going to switch. Are you able to see now?
Yep. Perfect.
Awesome. So I'm going to ask Claude to basically get me share average session duration per month.
Okay.
So it has all the data and possibly you can see it over here that this is
Uh-huh.
connected.
Yep. Yep.
So
Wow.
it is also creating a visualization for us
Wow.
to like look at it.
That's incredible. So you need to make a report, you need to make a PowerPoint, you need to do whatever to give your clients or your boss something, and you know, you can just come here and literally ask for Claude to create your visualization. That is insane. That would save people so much time. It's crazy.
Exactly. And it also gives key insights that which month was actually the longest session time. And you can always go back and check why it was the case.
Wow. Okay, so the next thing you could probably do if there's a certain metric like that's off, like just looking at this table. All right, my session duration in August was down 20% or whatever. Can you say like give me ideas or hypotheses or something that I can do to improve my session duration? So I think what's really cool about getting this data into Claude is that, you create these loops, these that are quick. So, Claude could probably give you some ideas right here to go and improve the metric that you're talking about. Or if your boss is like, oh, what's happening here? Like, how do we get that up? It's like, hey, I'll let you know in like 3 seconds. I'm just gonna like prompt Claude and get some cool ideas. So, yeah, the speed at which you can A, get the insight, and B, put it into action just drastically compresses here.
Exactly. And you know what? I try to do something interesting as well. Like for example, I've run bunch of different sessions here, and I've asked it to create like an entire dashboard. Like for example, we've connected different tools to MCP server. Can you create a dashboard with all the data, HTTP node?
Okay, so this is looking at all of the different
Yeah,
nodes that you've connected. So it's taking into account the visitors, the session information, and things like that. Okay.
exactly.
That's pretty cool that, you can set that up separately to keep it, clean and make sure the data is accessed in a usable way. And then this is like automatically kind of like blending that data together, I guess, which is pretty nice.
Yep. And you can also like prompt it so that you can add additional sections in the dashboard, and this dashboard can be real time and things like that. And you can change the
Incredible.
color because it says that this is the color it's using, the brand color that you want. You can do all that here in the prompt.
Wow. Yeah. This this is doing a lot more than I thought it would. I thought you were going to show me like a table that had, monthly visitors over the last 6 months or something like that. And, this is another like I've talked a couple times on X about like, marketers within like companies and things like that have an opportunity to just like show 10x value to their teams. If you're the person that knows how to get the data here, interact with it, do that easily, get insights quickly, create visualizations in a snap. I mean, you're like a 10x marketer on your team, which is just amazing. And it doesn't even take that long to set something like this up.
I agree completely. And I myself did not know that I was able to do like you exactly said, but I just tried like, what if I can get a graph out of it? And then, the next thing is like magic. I was able to
Yeah.
like get all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. For some reason, there is an issue, but I think no issues. I have already created a dashboard
Okay.
before, so I can show that.
You are always prepared.
Yeah. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Look at that. All right. I saw our traffic going down a little bit up there. We'll just say it was seasonal. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So
Wow.
you get all of it.
This is awesome. This is awesome. Very cool. All right. Well, I think people are going to love this. And yeah, let's give them some step by steps for how to set this up. And I don't know. This is just a great vibe marketing use case right here. I think it's awesome and well done, Vuru.
Thank you. Did I pass the vibe check then? So you're gonna ask me any data,
Yeah,
I'm going to like chat with Claude and get it to you.
pass the vibe check. I mean, all you have to do is put in a prompt and all the boring manual stuff's happening in the background and that frees you up to do other stuff.
Looking forward to that, James.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thanks a lot, Varu. Great work and hope everyone enjoys it.
Hopefully.